Good afternoon, fellow Plexers. Today's video is for Jason. I've done a few for Jason in the past, but it's an interesting one that covers a few different topics. The topics are unofficial TV shows only listed at TVDB and not TMDB, a reminder that I often give that if you only name from TVDB, your global library setting for episode ordering needs to be set to TVDB. By default, it's set for the movie database. The movie database is very strict. This Tom and Jerry series is virtual. The first cartoon came out as a movie special in the 40s. So none of these were actually TV shows. Just like the Looney Tunes. The first episode of the Looney Tune entry at TVDB is 1929. That whole collection, 1,000 different cartoons, are all considered movie shorts. And if you name from TMDB, you can only add them as a short movie in your movie library. This is such a gift to Plex server owners that TVDB allows virtual series and that Plex allows us to switch to TVDB aired ordering or DVD ordering at the show level or between TMDB and TVDB aired ordering globally. And that's how I do it. As a global setting, I only name from TVDB, so that setting works fine. So let me show you that. I'm into the series on my regular server. And if I go to the three dots and manage library, click into advanced, you see I've changed my episode ordering to TVDB away from the movie database. Now, if you were going to add a series like this and you're using the movie database, you still can. It'll scan in improperly if you name it to TVDB until you edit, go to the advanced properties, and then episode ordering will say library default. You can manually change it to TVDB aired, if that's how you're naming it from TVDB. I don't even know if the DVD ordering, yes, there's a DVD ordering too. So only at the show level you could change it to the DVD ordering. Basically, when you get it off the DVD, you have to decide if it's going to be in DVD order or you're going to reset things up in aired ordering. Now, if you find this series online, this virtual series, it could be in either order, so you can check to see what you've got by comparing things. So DVD order uses the normal seasonal 1, seasonal 2 convention. The aired ordering, your season would be named 1940, 1950, and 1960 with your folder structure. So that's where this comes in. So, Jason wants to add Anchors Aweigh because there's one animated scene where Gene Kelly dances with the mouse Jerry. I think the cat Tom is in a butler scene, and I forgot all about that until his post in Plexaholics. So I already have one unofficial special, and that's a Tom and Jerry movie from 2022 named Cowboy Up. And I have all the other Tom and Jerry movies listed as official specials. And so what I had to do is I had to find the Cowboy Up entry and figure out when it aired, January 25th, 2022. And I'm kind of jumping back and forth here. And when it scanned in originally, there was no metadata for it. There's no metadata to pull. So I had to edit it. I pasted in the name. I pasted in the description. And I manually inputted the date, 2022-01-25. And then from the TMDB website, I went and looked at backdrops, view all backdrops, and I downloaded this backdrop. And then once it was locally on my system, now, even though it's a backdrop, from this episode view, we want poster. So then I added that landscape graphic as the episode poster. And that's how I got the unofficial special in here for Tom and Jerry. So we're going to walk through it for Jason to show him how to do the same thing, only we'll name that episode 101. All right, so where am I? I am prepped. I have the movie Anchors Aweigh, the real movie. Because we're working on my real server now, not one of my test servers. So I'm not using dummy files. So I'm just going to cut that and paste it into season 00. So I already know that I'm going to use the 100 and above episode labeling. And let me talk about this. So Plex does allow extras now in TV show libraries, but it's not fully featured across all client devices. So you may work hard to get, let's say, a blooper reel from season 4 of a TV show, or a director talking to you about season 3. You might work hard to get them as extras under the right series, but then a Android TV device might see them all, but a Roku might not. It might not see anything but the extras you place under the show. It may not see extras under the season. So Plex has a list with a support article for extras in TV shows. It's just not a fully matched feature set across all client devices. But all client devices can see unofficial specials. And if you add your own metadata, it looks great, and it will play in the order based on the date you give it. All right, so we're going to use this. We're going to steal some of this. Oh, what did I do? I clicked something wrong. Right click, rename. So I just want this part. Well, let me just take all of that. Then I'll go up to this unofficial special, and let me strip out that. I won't need it. I'll leave the media characteristics for my movie FileBot expression. I'll paste this in, and I'm going to change this to 101. Pretty simple, because I already had a special. So if you didn't have an unofficial special, but you had a special, you could just right-click, rename, grab what you need, even just that, and then when you paste it in, add 100 or 101, depending on the number of unofficial specials you might have. So very easy. Now I have to do the same thing for the subtitle. Hold on a second. I renamed the subtitle. Sorry. Now I have to do the same thing for the actual movie. And get rid of the English part. Okay, so now I've got both the movie and the subtitle renamed properly. So if we go into Plex server, here's my unofficial special for Tom and Jerry Cowboy Up. And let me scan this now. Now I have this other unofficial episode, but no metadata, and it's just grabbing a screenshot from the movie. So let's get two things on the page at once. And now I'll go to Anchors Aweigh. And let me back up here. I need to see more of it. Copy the movie name. I'll edit this, and I'll let that be the title. And then, what is it? 1945, August 13th, 1945. 1945, August 13th. And then the last bit is I will grab this overview, but this isn't the best overview for what we're doing. So now this is a special in Tom and Jerry, and it's just talking about this as a movie. So I found this on Reddit. And this is good enough for me. Let's see. Tom and Jerry, Jury of Tom and Jerry dances seamlessly with Gene Kelly in the 1945 musical Anchors Aweigh. It took the MGM animators' painstaking and meticulous storyboarding and rotoscoping to match Gene Kelly's exact moves, right down to the shadow on the polished floor. I like what that says. So I'm going to highlight it and copy it, Control C, and I will bring it in, and now I'll save it. So now it's got a nice entry. Let's back up. It's got a nice entry as an episode. It's got an episode numbering. It's got a description. Click down. It's got more. And maybe you don't want the original movie description because you don't see that right off the bat. Just that little blurb from Reddit. And this is probably a better explanation. And if you wanted to, you could even add one more sentence to tell your users where that scene is. Maybe they're not interested in seeing the whole Anchors Aweigh movie, but if you give them a clue that it's at the 48-minute mark, they can just fast forward to see that. Or if you want another option, you could clip that out. I've got a video on MKV Toolnik showing you how to break up a video into sections. It's not perfect, but you might get within seconds of where the scene has to be cut. And if you really want to cut it and have it seamless, you have to use something that will re-encode it to get that cut. But MKV Toolnik is great for certain aspects, and I think I'd just do that. I wouldn't care if there's a little bit of a scene on either side of that dance. So that's another option. But this, we're putting the whole movie in here. So the last thing we have to do is maybe pick a better poster if we want. And we would do that by, let me just pause you for a quick second. Okay, we would get a poster for this movie that we're using as an unofficial special right back at the movie database. We can drop down and click on backdrops, and then click view all backdrops, and let's see if they have something that involves the animated scene. Well, that's something we don't want. This looks good. Let's see what else there is. That's not what we want. So we have our choice. We can use this one, or this one, or this one. This looks like they're getting ready to dance together. So I'll click into it, I'll right click, and I'll save image as. Unfortunately, it's a WEPB, which isn't something Plex will recognize. So I'm just going to name it Anchors Dance. It's going to go in my messy download folder. So I know I can't use it, but what I can do is this. All right, let me go here. I can right click and open it with application, and I'm going to choose GNU Image Manipulation Program. Now this is free, whether you're using Linux like I am, Windows, or Mac. It's a free imaging program. I don't have to do anything to this. It's already in the right format because it came from TMDB. I'm just going to go to File. I'm going to Export As, and because I'm using Linux, I'm going to pick PNG. You could make it a JPEG. Let's see, there's PNG image. Click on that. See how I added the extension automatically? And I'm going to export it. It's already going back to my download directory. Export. And it's done. So we've got the image. And now there's two ways to get it into Plex. I can drag it in, or I can choose an image and go back and find it. Remember to save. And that's our new image. If we go back to the show, we now have 16 specials. You see I have the two unofficial specials, and they both have metadata because I've added the metadata manually. Now, Jason is going to wonder, well, why can't this just be added to TVDB? Well, I'm sure someone tried in the past, but because it's only a couple scenes with the Tom and Jerry characters, they probably made the decision that it's an unrelated movie and it's not something that should be as a special. So you're just not going to force it in if you want to add it to this listing yourself. And again, over at TMDB, they treat all these regular season episodes. Oh, what am I doing here? They treat all these regular season episodes as movie shorts, and they can't be added to a TV show library by naming from TMDB or pulling a series episode ordering from TMDB, which is why I always advise everybody, start right at the beginning, name your TV series from TVDB, set your advanced ordering up for TVDB for your series, and you'll just be happier because it's much more versatile. I have over 800 TV shows, and I think I only had to use the TMDB source ID on one of them and then manually change to that episode ordering at the show level. But if it was reversed, I'd have all kinds of shows that I couldn't have in my series. And let's show you some of those now. And if you watch other videos of mine, this will be a repeat and you can just shut the video down now. So my most favorite is this. I like documentaries. And if I type Civil War, we will find Ken Burns' Civil War here from 1990. All of Ken Burns' documentaries are listed at both TMDB and TVDB as TV series. Well, again, TVDB is more flexible, and some genius came up with this entry that I use, Ken Burns Films. This is another virtual TV series. If I go in here, these are how the seasons are named in your real media structure. Season space 1981 and so on. And this one just tells us it's the Civil War one. We don't name the season that. We name it season space 1990. But here are all the episodes. That's a big database. It takes a second to get into it. So this is how you would name the file. You'd name it Ken Burns Films space dash space. Well, Ken Burns Films with a year of whatever the first season episode was. Space dash space S 1990 E01 space dash space the Civil War space dash space the cause with a year in parentheses .mkv, and it just scans in beautifully. Some of you will know that the Looney Tunes cartoon shorts can only be added the same way because this is a virtual series. There are these other real series, but this isn't something that exists at TMDB. This is my first virtual series I added, and I worked for months and months and months to find as much as I can. And I don't know how many movie shorts are in this virtual series, but I think I have like 90% of them. So this was a huge labor of love. I started Plex in 2019. I probably worked on this in the later half of 2020, and it's before I discovered the joys of FileBot. So originally Looney Tunes was all manually named by me, and I wasn't sure what I'd have, so I'd watch a little bit of a movie short. Luckily, they almost always had a title card at the beginning that told you the movie short name. And Of course, the movie short name is also the episode name. So this is kind of a hint. You don't want to look through this way, but I'm just looking to see, I want to play house is a good one. Let's go back to Looney Tunes, season, and all seasons. And this is going to take too long to load. But once you're in the all seasons mode, you can go in and use your browser's find option and type in whatever keyword search you want. I've already forgotten what I wanted to search for. So let's say we're going to search for this one. So you just go to find, and it takes you right to it. So if you've just watched the title card, you just keep this one page up in this view and you just keep searching. And all you have to do is rename the episode this .mp4 or .mp or MKV, then run it through FileBot with the right expression, and FileBot will fill in the rest. You don't have to worry, it will just add this. Or you could paste this in, the whole thing, and it will give an elongation, not just a space between the two. So you change that elongation to a space dash space, and you could just rename it simply like that, and then turn FileBot loose on it. So it's a great, great feature that they do for us, and I can't think of anything else, but I know there's other series that don't exist at TMDB that only exist at TVDB because they were never considered a real TV series. So, Jason, I hope you're able to get this scanned in like I have. And when I set the date, for this, I'm in the wrong season. When I set the date for this unofficial special of 1945, there's no way for me to easily test this. But if somebody starts this series from the master play option or from season 1 and just hit play here, continue watching should throw Anchors Aweigh up when it's its turn based on its date. So Plex doesn't play things in order based on how the season and episodes are labeled. It plays things by the date that's in the metadata. And that's why a series like Battlestar Galactica is fun to get in, because there was the pilot movies that was on 2 nights, and then they had all those web episodes and stuff like that. Let me show you that. Now that's a real entry that can be named from either TMDB or the movie database, but the specials might be different between the two. So if we go in here and look at the date of this, and this was pulled automatically in December of 2003. Well, the right way to play this series is to hit the master play button and see how it, let's stop it before we get a copyright strike, but see how it plays specials, episode 1, Battlestar Galactica. That's because the date is before the date of the first season 1 episode, which was from October of 2004, almost a year later. So adding that date as extra metadata for unofficial episodes is really the key, and you can control what order even that Tom and Jerry movie played in by the date. So if I was going to clip that Anchors Aweigh movie just to show that dance scene, I think I'd give it a date of 1945. If I'm going to add it as the full movie like I just did, I might tweak the date to say 2023 so it comes after the first unofficial special I had. So if somebody's really interested in Tom and Jerry, they've gone through the whole thing, and then maybe they'll read the description. So I really think clipping that down would be the best. And you know what? I'm going to pause this video and get that set up to do an MKV tool next to show you how to do that also, Jason, to make this more of a seamless interaction. Give me a little bit. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm copying the Anchors Aweigh movie renamed as a special back to my local hard drive. And I can't show you the process of identifying where it starts or where it stops because I'll get a copyright strike for showing the real movie. So I'll pause again and I'll get those times, the timestamps I need, and then I'll show you how to do it in MKV Toolmix. Alrighty, I found the timestamps. So I'm going to shoot for 1 hour and 15 minutes and 7 seconds and then go to 1 hour and 23 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm not going to be able to cut the subtitles, so that's just useless to me at this point. So I'm going to right click and open with other application and MKV Toolmix. Now I think you can do this under Windows, but I'm not a Windows guy, so you may have to just open it up or drag it in, drag and drop it. That'll help. That's how it'll work. So here's the file, and I'll go to Output, and I'll change Split Mode to After Specific Timestamps, and I will do 1:15:07 comma 1:23:30. Now, without re-encoding, this is going to cut scenes at places called keyframes. I am not a videographer. I don't know how all of this works in the background. I just know that it'll cut at the nearest keyframe. So if the nearest keyframe is 7 seconds before this mark or 6 seconds after, that's where it'll cut. And again for this, if this 1:23:30 mark has a keyframe 3 seconds earlier or 10 seconds later, that's where it'll cut. So you can kind of play around to cut at a different keyframe to see if that'll work for you. Now, you might want to cut at a keyframe earlier than where you need to be and later than where you need to end, to then take that and re-encode it with Handbrake to cut it specifically. That way you're not loading the whole movie into Handbrake. So we just hit Start Multiplexing, and if you don't get any errors, you'll see the progress like that. Now I'm not going to close this because if I need to adjust those numbers, I want to come back to it and do it again. All right, so this is the scene I want. So let me open it up, and hopefully I won't get a YouTube strike. So I can kind of pull it across without it playing. All right, so the scene ends there, and I've got 10 seconds after it where the teacher walks back in, and before it starts, I got him telling the kids to sit down. And he starts telling them a story that leads to the animation. So that's good enough for my book. And again, hopefully I won't get a YouTube strike by showing that, but I'll take my chances. So now I'm going to right click and cut this, and I'll go back to this folder and paste it into the specials. And boy, you know where that original movie came from, right? It wasn't a rip. Okay, so let's go down here. And oh, I moved the whole movie out of here. So I will steal this whole file name. All right, so now we've got just the clip. And if we go back to Plex server, let's go back to Tom and Jerry. We go into the specials. We see it's unavailable, and it's a 2 hour and 19 minute segment. But once we rescan the library, it'll become available again, and we'll see the new timestamp. Well, we were supposed to see the new timestamp. Well, maybe I need to back out and come back in. Yeah, so it's 8 minutes long. So, Jason, my friend, this is the way I do it. I would not want the whole movie to play, especially if somebody is watching that series start to end. This will make sense, and this description will tell somebody, hey, if they want to watch the whole movie, the scene is from Anchors Aweigh, and they can go and watch that movie if they want to. I love musicals, always have. I love live stage musicals. Um, but that's it. So that's a lot of information in here. TVDB is the best database to name from. And again, I always stress this. You've got to change the episode ordering globally if you're naming only from TVDB. Change it away from the movie database to TVDB. Or if you've got a whole library set up named from TMDB and you want to just do one show named from TVDB, you can edit and do it at the show level too. Under the advanced setting, it's going to say library default, just change it to TVDB aired or DVD if you're naming it. And if you're naming a series to the DVD ordering, no matter how your global episode ordering is set, TMDB or TVDB, you change this to DVD ordering at the show level if that's how you've ripped and named your media. So I know this is longer than most videos, but it is what it is, and this is the solution for Jason's issue. And I think my extra solution was better because it's just the animated clip, and that's kind of how a special should be anyway. Thanks for watching, and happy Plexing.